I really do.
I'm slow.
Oh, I gotta get ready to share this stuff out.
Cue the music, Chief.
10 seconds till we go live on the radio. 10 seconds till we go live on the radio.
Oh. Are we live everywhere else?
We're close.
We're close, yeah.
I read the news today, a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and breaking. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and close its way under your skin. Just got back from the things they spout, and give me that good news. Because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Give me that good news Friday morning right here, 21.6 The Net. And it's time for Triple G, Giles, Gulp, and the grounds. Of course, you got to get into the grounds, get a little dirty, have a little conversation to get that good tasting nectar, that coffee. Today, it is being brought to you through the financial support of Cannabis CBD Shop. Check them out. They offer quality, affordable, convenient products. Their mission is to provide an alternative, natural way of healing without using industrialized pharmaceuticals. They offer a broad array, that was a hard word for me this morning, broad array of hemp products to address a wide variety of ailments. Their team will guide you through all the options that you could ever think of to make sure that you are comfortable with your purchase. Visit them at 818 Front Street, McHenry, right across from the library, right next to Fantasy Factory. Or check them out at www.cannabiscbdshop.com. Call them. They'd love to talk to you. 815-687-2608. Now, let's get down to the grounds.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. Hopefully it's a Friday for you. It's been a different week this week.
Yeah, it's been something.
You know, I don't know why, but for me, it's been a different week. I don't know how to really explain it, but it's been
a busy week, like crazy busy. And I've even still got a busy day ahead.
No, me too. Thank goodness. I can't complain. You know, I mean, things are good, but busy, and sometimes busy is not always good. Busy is not always productive.
Oh, so okay, you've not had a productive week then? It's not been?
No, I've had a productive week, but it's also those days that it's just like, you know, you do a million things and you still feel like you got nothing done.
Because you're doing pieces of a million things, right? And not finishing a thing,
right? And that's that is one of my. I don't know how to say it's a nemesis, but that is one of the things for me that it's hard for me to remember that I've done so much, but I haven't culminated any major project, so to speak. I've got so many projects in the fire, and at the end of the week, it's like, well, what did I do?
Speaking of projects in the fire,
yeah,
folks, this show can only work if you join us. This is the only internet radio show that we know. Hey, there's a link posted right now. Click that link. Come on in. Be part of the show. I was at a mixer this week, and everybody's like, oh, it's been so long since I had coffee with Pete. I'm like, every Friday morning. There's a link. Morning. Come in, have coffee with Pete.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it's called The Grounds. Thanks for supporting 21.6 The Net.
Yep. Gulp, Giles, and the grounds.
And the grounds.
Right?
Y'all are the grounds. Yeah, y'all are the grounds.
Well, a lot of people still aren't really paying attention and knowing that they're kind of back in trying to bring their regular life back together, right? So to speak.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, people are still adjusting to, I mean, last week was our big one about, how things are changing and getting out and opening up, so to speak. I mean, so I think people are still kind of adjusting to that whole concept, if you will. It's almost foreign to some people.
I suppose, yeah, because we did have, we had, like I said, it's been a busy week for me, but it's been productive. And, there were out and about events this week. In fact, again, just as the producer over there, Kent, said, that we had actually people in the studio Tuesday this week. You were here.
Right.
And
for a short period of time.
For a short period. But we had a lot of people in and out for a short period, and was really nice. A lot of it we had, and it was nice, safe, comfortable. Everybody had a good time. We had somewhere between 30 and 40 folks, so it was really nice.
That's a decent little mixer.
Yeah, not too bad. And everybody was comfortable. It was all done very nicely. Hey, there's Gary. How you doing? Good evening from Singapore. Gary actually caught the tail end of Mary Catherine's Power Hour playlist today, which gave me fits. But anyway,
which gave me fits.
It did. I had to read song titles and band names that were very uncomfortable for me.
Oh, we got Mary chiming in there too. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Mary. Hey, how you doing?
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm doing good.
So we had it was good times, but I mentioned a little earlier we got talking, and I really want to hear what's on your mind. I really do. When we were all in the room of green,
the room of green.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. I think I'm going to let you lead the show today.
No, here's what just struck me. It struck me super silly when I saw the news clip from Fox News. No, we don't do news here on the station. So I did not. I saw it elsewhere, not here.
Mm-hmm.
But Fox News putting out a call to action to our generation, Gen X, which the three of us in this room are in, at least. Mary may be part of that. I don't know. She's a lot younger, so she's a very young. She's a young lady.
42.
Yeah. See, you're pretty young. So I don't know if you're Gen X or not, but they put a call out to Gen X to please save the United States of America. They called on us to act to save the USA from cancel culture and all of the snowflakedness that has been occurring through people not being able to address or take on opinions from others. They take an opinion as a personal affront,
a personal attack.
Yeah,
that's a sad part of the whole Facebook and internet craze with everybody. Nobody can have a conversation and give their opinion and express their opinion and still walk away appreciating that other person and still, I don't want to say liking, but still liking that person for who they are and appreciate. I mean, I appreciate somebody that has a different view than me.
Oh, absolutely.
I may not agree with it, but I'm not going to disown them, and I'm not going to, a lot of people are shaming people these days for having a different opinion. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Isn't it a lot, though, with someone's upbringing? I mean, I get it that each generation is raised a little bit differently, and I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but, it's not that my parents were abusive by any stretch of the word. But they let us eat dirt and play with worms, and you were left to your own devices to fall, to get back up, to they were there for us, but at the same time they let us experience things, and I think so much
that's
of
good parenting.
Is different.
That's good parenting.
They don't make your kids do anything anymore. I mean, my dad, I've said it before, where I hated it as a kid, and he always said, I really hope you find someone to pump your gas and tie your shoes and make your bed for you. But in the event that you don't, here's a big wrench and take that pipe apart.
Yeah.
Do some drywall, learn to work on your car, change your oil.
Good for him, because he was trying to make you well-rounded. And a lot of people don't do that these days. A lot of people just are too busy in their own lives to enjoy that. I mean, for me, when my kids raising my kids, I enjoyed that. I loved seeing them go and do their own thing and to get in the mud, because I grew up in the mud and the dirt, eating it. I mean, I think that's why I never get sick. My immune system is killer, because I don't have a problem, diving into dirty, crappy areas and getting things done and getting that small amount of, all these viruses and, that my body learns to fight off. Parents these days are just like, I don't have time for that. Here's your tablet.
Right. That's so horrible.
And that's
a
bullshit.
TV and a tablet is a babysitter.
Here's your babysitter. Here's your babysitter. Go have fun. I'm going to go get on Facebook or Instagram or
do whatever you're going to do other than do my wife, Mary Catherine, and I decided when we did this before our first was born when we discovered she was pregnant. We said, okay, well then throughout the time we're being parents, one of us will always be home. We're going to be somewhat a single income or part-time supplemental, income family. So, well, look at this. We got Gary, we got Don, and that's really freaking awesome. Good morning.
Hey.
How y'all doing? But we decided and we knew that was going to impact our lifestyle as far as finances and such. But we always wanted one of us to be home because we didn't want to do the daycare thing. We didn't want to do
and the babysitter for thing. For me, that's, it's kudos to you because we did the same thing raising our kids. For me, I always question, why do you want to have kids if you're not going to raise them?
So,
honestly, why do you have kids if you don't want to raise them?
How many years did you stay home?
Well, technically, I didn't stay home.
How about you, Pete?
But I stayed home.
I actually did stay home. Mary Catherine had an opportunity to go work full time that she wanted to take advantage of. And she'd already been an at-home mom for 6 years when that occurred. Yeah. And so she had an opportunity. So it was my turn.
Yeah. So how many years? 6, 7, 8?
Turned out to be 6 months because she did not.
Sexist.
She did not lie. No.
Here we go.
She came to me.
Don't open that door up this morning.
I hate.
I offended.
I cannot stand. She could not stand. She was in a management role. She said, I can't stand these people. I can't take this. It's worse than dealing with the kids of any age. She said, would you mind going and finding another job?
She had to wear shoes and get out of the kitchen. My God. Yeah.
Right. So here for me, you asked if I
she came
home.
And asked me. There was no way I was going to say, hey, she did it for 6 years. So I knew I was in it at least that long.
Right. So in the
but
sense
it turned
of
out
the question,
to be 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to do it.
Right.
I really am.
Well, and that's the thing is, so in the sense, I didn't stay home, but I did stay home. So I chose a career. All right. I decided to open my own business to where I woke up in the morning, I took my kid to school. Then after school, I would be able to schedule all my clients to where I was there for him all the time.
Hey, you don't have to defend your choices to me, Scott.
No, I'm not. But you just said that's not an at home. I chose a career that I could be with them nonstop.
To our point. This is what Fox News, he's demonstrating. This is Fox News has called upon us to save the U.S., us, meaning the Gen X.
Why just Gen X people to save?
Because apparently we are the last generation who does not give a fuck.
And I think it's funny that they call it a cancel culture when the upbringing of these younger generations, because of the instant gratification of things, the psychology behind that. When you can pick up your cell phone and you spend your life where everything is 2 seconds at your fingertips, even when they come into my store, the older generations, they like the clutter. They like the mass clearance. They like all of the millions of options that they can peruse through for hours. The younger generations want to come in. They want minimalist, white wall, 3 lines. They've got 3 options. They can pick A, B, or C. They grab their phone cord or whatever the hell they're coming in to look for, and they leave because that same instant gratification transfers into the rest of their life. And then they're diagnosed with ADHD and every other I can't sit fucking still pill known to man because they need that instant gratification versus taking the time to process a thought.
You never got the sit the fucking still pill? Is that what it is?
No, I got the back end of my hand to the side of my head.
Well, I can't sit fucking still. That's part of my problem. It's really hard for me to sit, except for when in places like this, where we're sitting and chatting.
Yeah.
I love that. But if I don't have a group of people that I'm sitting around and chatting with and discussing things and, throwing out my opinion and them still talking to me, I feel the need to always be going to, I always say next.
Do you find it difficult then to just sit and enjoy silence?
Very much so.
Wow. Okay.
I don't want to say I force myself, but I've been forcing myself more so lately to, give myself my downtime, right? To sit and do nothing or read a book or play with the dogs or just literally, sit in my backyard and, stare at the trees, so to speak. I'm a nature type of person. I've been doing a lot more hiking, a lot more just sitting out in nature and, just in viewing it, enjoying it, and appreciating it, which nobody does. Everyone's too busy. Me included. I mean, I do get it, but when I take that time to relax and sit back and try to be by myself, if you will, or be with somebody else, and then just enjoy the company being with somebody else,
Yeah.
I'm a much better person, I
found-
feel much better about myself.
Don, say what now?
Don's got to have something to say.
I said nothing. It's by no rare. Yeah,
funny.
I'm kind of like Scott in terms of I get my energy from other people, so I'm not as inclined to go walk in the woods by myself. First of all, I'd probably get lost and die. So I probably won't do it. But yeah, I get the energy from other people, but I do believe that we are not a very good society of rest. That's for sure. We weren't taught that very well as kids about the value of rest, and I still to this day, if I stop my work day for 20 minutes and go sit on the couch and maybe put my feet up, set the alarm, and go to sleep for 20 minutes, I feel guilty. It's even though I know there's nothing wrong with it, there's still that inside voice that's like, oh, you should be working right now. You should be doing something.
Right. And, that kind of goes back, Don, to me, I think it was actually maybe our first show, talking about, taking care of yourself, self-help, or self-care to where, not a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah, we're experiencing an earthquake here in the studio. So if you saw the image shaking there for a moment, this area in McHenry is experiencing tremors. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny because I'm not very far. I think I'm 8 miles from you.
Nicole Elizabeth says,
so it's funny because there's
hold on just a second, Mary. Let me interrupt you just a second, because Nicole's quote has been up, or comment has been up here for a minute. I want to read that. I don't think it's one generation's problem. The brain of all ages have been trained to be in constant access.
I agree.
Or
programmed.
So it's funny. That's what I wanted to comment on.
Okay.
And I mentioned it on my show not too long ago. There was a study done, and of course I don't have anything in front of me to tell me what it was or who did it, but they were comparing the sedentary life of Americans and how we have an obesity problem and all of these different things because of everyone sitting around doing nothing all the time. And there's a tribe that they were studying for a very long period of time, and you talk about the need to move and the need for your brain to do things, even when you have no outside influence, no TV, no computers, no nothing. They're hunter-gatherer societies still sitting there somewhere in the middle of some woods somewhere, but they're constantly moving. So they sit more than we do. Literally all day long, if you measure it scientifically, they sit more than we do hour per hour. However, they don't sit for longer periods of time because it's constant. Their brain and their life is in constant activity. They're constantly getting up to tend to a fire, to a child, to, peel nuts, to find food, to move this, to move that, to tend. So they'll sit down for 2 seconds and do whatever they do and then get up 2 minutes later to go tend to something. And they're in constant movement throughout the day. So it's this intermittent movement versus just sitting still for 10 hours watching a TV show or a computer program. So they sit more than we do, but they also move more often than we do. So their brain is in constant activity. That's what we're meant to be. We need that interaction, that stimuli. But if it's boring, and I was lucky enough in school to have teachers, at least 2, that recognized that, because I couldn't sit still in class. So they had to challenge me or I'd fail.
Hey, Mary, I appreciate all that, but I kind of spaced off.
They had to challenge me. So they sent me to the principal's office.
My takeaway from Mary, from what you just said there, was that they peel nuts. Are you sure nuts are peeled? Aren't those shelled? Some nuts are peeled.
On the nut.
Peel nuts, yes. Some nuts are peeled.
At any rate, okay. Gary says
Gary's
some
got my
nuts
back.
are peeled. Okay, so I don't know much about nuts. Shayna says, "Morning. Did the way you were raised influence the decision you made to have one parent at home? If so, how?" No, actually, I don't think it did. Uh, maybe no, I don't know.
You were raised on a farm. Everybody was home.
I was
Right.
shucked outside. My life growing up was outside pretty much on my own. If the sun was up, I was outside. Whether it was going to school.
Mom and Dad were there.
No, I wasn't. I lived in the country. I did not live on a farm. I lived in a country for a short period of time. And then we moved a lot. When
I would say seeing the cost of daycare and the quality of that daycare is what drove me to want to have a parent at home.
Well, it's almost a wash. It's almost a wash if you look at the daycare expenses these days. And then you're having somebody else raise your kid. I mean, why would you want to do that? Why? That's why I went back to why do you want it? Why do you have kids? Just to say I've got kids?
Yeah, and that was our big thing was we didn't want someone else in having
Tax
daily influence over our kids.
Oh, yeah.
We did not want someone else having daily influence over our
Right,
kids
because
at a very young age.
right.
Now, then we had to send them to school. We know how that turned out. But with now Nicole Elizabeth there says, watch The Social Expert. Now
I think it's a social experiment.
I watched The Social Thing. I don't know what it was. I think it was the one that everybody was talking about for a bit. What was it?
Social Dilemma.
The Social Dilemma. Oh God,
That movie.
that's a great movie. If no one's seen that,
It's a documentary.
a documentary. I thought it was a great
It
one.
was absolute crap.
Why do you say it's crap?
It was absolute crap because it didn't tell us anything we didn't already know, and it was. You have to look at the money that was behind it and how it was produced. Who it was produced by. It didn't share anything new. It was complete crap and built in. You go back and listen to all the subtext. It was a load of garbage.
So
See, I don't know.
So a documentary is supposed to introduce new things?
It's just it's explaining. I think for me, it was
hoping
explaining
for
what's
new
really
things
going on,
or information I did not already know.
I think it was trying to summarize it in an easy to understand.
I did not.
Situation.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think
by Giles on Facebook. He's just being manipulated right now by the Giles on Facebook.
Yeah, I think the documentary summarized the points into a very easy to understand thing for everybody. So regardless of age. So sometimes documentaries don't really tell you much new information. They actually, you may say that they actually regurgitate their own information, but in an easier to understand format.
Okay.
Well, and it's also
I'll acquiesce to that.
Right. Well, it's also making people really think about it, right? Because I mean, when I watched it, I know that people are on their phones nonstop, and people are, personally disconnected, and they're, looking at their screens nonstop. And I bitch about that all the time, but it also made me think about it in a little bit different manner, and made me actually. Stop complaining a little bit more because I think it's how people have been trained. It's how they've been raised.
I'd say most people have to watch that movie, that documentary twice because they missed half of it the first time because they were on their phone while they were watching it.
Probably.
Arguing with somebody on Facebook.
Deidre
yeah, exactly. Arguing with Ken.
And Nicole Elizabeth says, yes, you are right. To whatever portion we just talked about.
That was instead of the social expert, it was a social experience.
Oh, gotcha.
Or experiment.
Dilemma.
Sorry, the social experiment.
Dilemma. Whatever.
We're
watch them all.
We do our research.
We do.
And there's the asterisk on the show. Everybody is in the green room. We had a really good heated discussion, Uncle Pete and I. So I'll do a lot of poking of the bear today. I'm not being a dick. I'm just being a dick.
I'm just being Ken.
You should change your name to Richard.
We did have, and actually that conversation you can enjoy on Bridging Civil Tension coming up at 9 a.m., which I will not be a part of because I'm up to here with that crap.
Right. Well, I have a question though. So you said it was on Fox News that they said that they're looking to us as Gen Xers to save the world.
Save the USA.
Okay, so why just Gen Xers? I mean, what makes us different than anybody else to help save? I mean, there's smart people in every age bracket. But why just us?
I think it has to do with our overall attitude and the way we are the last generation that did not know what life was like without the internet. that did not know what life was like without these, that did not have 10 million, at one point, did not have 10 million channels to access. We are the last
we have
generation.
2, 5, 7, 9, 11, 32,
Yeah,
66.
we are the last. And Nicole Elizabeth says Gen X uses the belt. That's because guess what? You're 100% right. And that's because we got it used on us. In my household, we had the black belt, and it was not my level of skill at karate.
We got the red. We had the red spoon.
We had a cane. We had a cane here in Asia. We had the famous rattan cane.
Well, I'm just happy to report that I was such a good child. I didn't get any of those.
Oh, Don, you're done. You're lying. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Yeah, sorry, sorry, Don. I just muted the mic.
I wish I could say the same, because I was definitely a handful, as a kid. But my parents were. We actually just had a conversation with them the other day. My wife and I sat down, had a great conversation about childhood and the memories and the things you went through, and maybe what's formed you, and some things were brought up that I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So a week ago Wednesday,
Okay.
I took the Facebook app off of my phone.
All right.
No more alerts. No, right. And now I'm basically using it for the station here.
Yeah.
I haven't had such a good low stress week in years.
That right?
In years.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's the only thing I use Facebook for, and we're using it right now. I only use it. Dan, good morning. Dan says, my mom was Italian. I got anything within her reach.
Right.
You darn Skippy.
Right.
But I rarely post unless it's in response to another post and it's a fun thing. I just don't look at all the negative crap. We use it for the station. I use it for the chamber and a couple other things. I just don't really engage with people. Deidre says, if a company person does something we don't agree with, one will often vote with our dollar. Yeah, that's free trade, meaning not spending money with that company or on things that person supports. How is this different from cancel culture?
Oh, it's very different. Very, very different.
Different. Gary, go ahead, jump in on that.
Wow, because you see, you vote with your dollar, but the company will still carry on regardless of your dollar. So whether the company fails or doesn't fail because of a dollar is basically a matter of market forces. What the US you guys call the capitalist market forces is at play. But cancel culture means you are actually forcing them to be removed from the ecosystem completely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a mob mentality. Oh, you're wrong, and then you just cancel them. Whereas if you don't like the shop, you don't spend the money there. Sure, they may survive, they may not survive, but then it's basically none of our business, none of the rest of our business. We just let it be. If we feel like spending, we spend. If we don't feel like spending, so there's a choice. There's a freedom of choice in that sense. But in cancel culture, there's no such thing. It's a mob mentality that forces that company to close because you may or may not agree with their difference of opinion.
Company or pieces
walk away
of
from
history.
that business. Now it's walk away from that business and try to do everything you can to destroy it.
Right.
Yeah, correct. So I mean, to me, it's like, I think okay. Obviously, the asking the Gen X to save the US is, I leave it up to you guys over there. Across the pond here, we are kind of far. 9,300 miles is kind of far to go over there. But essentially, I think what Pete says is correct. We are probably the last generation that we really don't give a damn about your opinion. We just, we tell like, yeah, right. But then, you know what? I don't really care. We'll just do what we want to do. So I think that in the face of cancel culture is probably a good way of balancing out. It's like, yeah, you can say all you want about woke and oh, this is PC, this is not PC and things like that. You know what? We don't really care.
Right, and exactly, and that was. I'm glad that you jumped in on my point there, but I was a little more vulgar in my expression of that. But Gary, you're very eloquent. Shayna says, taking away my ability to do so based on a personal experience versus the collective will being imposed. And again, that summarizes what Gary was just saying. But Kent, you're right. It can be about a business. It can be about history. It can be about individuals. People have been losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods, losing their careers. People have been losing places in neighborhoods where they live. Yeah.
The world is becoming identitarian.
Yes, very much. Very much. And we're entering into this. Who was it? You two? Who did the Cult of Personality? Who sang that song? Living Color sang Cult of Personality.
That was a show,
Okay.
wasn't it?
But
In Living Color was, but just Living
In
Color.
living
Oh,
color.
yeah, okay, gotcha. Thank you, Ken.
Cult of
Thank you, Music
Personality. And you're right. It's becoming very identitarian. And if you do not, and that's again why I think they're calling us, Gary. Now here's the thing: they can call on us for this, and I used this analogy earlier this week. I think when I was talking, at least to you, Ken. I don't know if I talked to you about it yet or not. To me, it's very much, because I am the oldest in my family, it's very much like calling, and Deidre says that makes sense. Thanks. It's like very much like calling on your big brother to help you clean up a mess that you made before mom and dad get home. Guess what? We really don't care about your mess. We might help, but it's going to cost you, and we're going to do it.
Correct. It will cost you.
Yeah.
And we're actually not obligated to help you.
The thing that I always think is funny about a lot of this is the psychology behind the fact that people are so desperate to be unique in their own person and their own thing, but at the same exact time, they want to be a part of another group. So I want to be myself and I self-identify as a grilled cheese sandwich, but I also want to be part of your group over there because I don't want to be alone. So I need all of you to be grilled cheese sandwiches so we can all be together, but I still want to be unique.
And
that just always amazes
grilled cheese.
But and then that part I just to add on to what Mary said, I want to be unique, but I cannot accept the fact that you are unique. So can you please be one of the common ones so that I can be unique?
You know, I love that you said that, Mary. I love that you said that. I listened to this podcast called A Bit of Optimism with Simon Sinek.
Optimism. Simon Sinek. Okay.
Simon Sinek. He is just, I mean, he's amazing. He really is. He's a self-proclaimed introvert, but you would never know it by him all the stuff that he does. But he was just talking, one of his podcasts that I was just going through the other day was talking about tribes, about people wanting to belong and people finding their space in the world, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's really, we are social individuals and we all want to belong, whether we want to be grilled cheese, as you say, or if we just want to be caring, loving, compassionate people that help out the community. I mean, I don't care who you are. If you're part of a tribe, if you will, that believes in the same things you are, whether that's, people that, donate their time to good causes, that go to a church, that, whatever your tribe may be, people that love tennis or people that love, talking on the radio. We all are digging and we all need that connection, right? Whether we still have to be individuals, but we need that community, if you will,
right,
to help us to grow and maybe to help individualize ourselves, because, hey, the example they kind of used, one of them was, the Grateful Dead, as far as a tribe, because of what they believe or what the Grateful Dead stood for. A lot of people don't realize that the Grateful Dead is a great, great band, and the lessons that they taught you through their music is why the 70s and 80s were so great, because people actually did bond together and, we're grilled cheeses together, right? They didn't cancel you because you said, I don't like them. I like Fish better. Or, I like Bachman Turner Overdrive better.
Oh, which I do.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
ELO.
And that's, who?
ELO.
Yeah. Oh my God, Electric Light Orchestra.
Electric Light Orchestra.
But the thing that was, and you guys really should check out.
Lisa,
it's called A
good
Bit
morning.
of Optimism.
Hi, how you doing?
You should really check that out. It is a great, great podcast. But it really came down to the whole thing. You're talking about this cancel culture, and
so Simon Sinek is brilliant. What is his background?
He's from the advertising agency.
He was technology.
Well, no, actually, he's from advertising. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's from
Right.
he's from O&M, and he's from Euro ISCG, also two of the big advertising agencies in the world.
Huge.
He is a self-proclaimed thought expert.
Yep.
And what he, if you, yes, and
Okay.
and he's brilliant. He's a great orator.
Yep.
But he does not have one original thought. The tribe thing. The way
he
millennials
does a
work.
lot of research, and he opens it up to people, and he gets that conversation started. Have you listened to him before?
I do. I said, he's brilliant.
Right. I
do.
have no problem with somebody taking somebody else's research and just opening my eyes up to it, right? To make me think about
It's
it.
in his presentation.
Yeah.
Barack Obama was a brilliant orator.
Oh, he was a phenomenal.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Really good at that.
So Simon Sinek kind of the same way. I mean,
Right.
he's made himself a millionaire well over because he's able to orate well.
He orates well,
Right.
and he actually makes the way he talks. He's not condescending. He's not an asshole.
No.
He makes you really think about it. When Mary said, I'm going to be an individual, but a grilled cheese sandwich, to me, I'm like, oh my God, that is literally what I just listened to the other day.
I love listening to him. And Simon, thanks for tuning in to 21.6 and Net.
Yeah.
We'd love to have your sponsor.
Brought to you
us.
by
We'd-
Cannabis.
Yeah, we'd love to have
Where he gets all of his ideas.
your
His non-original
podcast. Let's
thoughts.
talk.
Right.
What was that, Don? I missed that.
I said this show is where Simon Sinek gets all of his unoriginal thoughts.
Probably.
Well, you know what? Unoriginal thoughts or not, Don, he gets out there and he actually brings it to the table again for people to talk about. A lot of these things people don't talk about.
No, I agree with you.
So many people don't talk about things because of the cancel culture.
I don't think it's a criticism of him that he doesn't have an original thought. How many people do? How many original thoughts are there
isn't
anymore?
Oh, I have a lot of original
he's
thoughts.
brilliant.
Ask my wife.
He's brilliant,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
marketed himself well, and he does. I mean, that's why I admire the man. I appreciate it. But
Right.
if you take a look at him, really, before he went viral, what sent him viral was the
Know your why.
millennium thing, how
Right.
to
Know your
manage
why,
a millennial or something.
Yeah, his Know Your Why is probably one of his biggest watched ones. And
Well, yeah. That book, that question is why?
Right.
Is what is your why? Why are you doing something? I mean, and so I don't know. I really resonate with the guy, because he
And
does
that's
make
cool.
me look at things from a different perspective. And then when you say cancel culture, it's like, well, maybe in some ways, maybe a cancel culture is good because maybe the assholes that are canceling you, I don't want to talk to anyway. Right? I mean, realistically, why do I want to deal with people that are going to cancel me because I have an original thought or I don't believe 100% way they do? Life's too short for me to deal with people that don't share my same feelings or don't have the same.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
No, Kent's raising his hand. We are in
Kent's raising his
third
hand.
grade right now. Excuse me,
I
teacher.
do that even at restaurants. when
I
need
don't.
help.
You notice that.
So I think with Gen Xers, right? I think that we are the last generation who want people to learn lessons. We want you to fall down and fall off your bike.
Right.
That's how you learn.
Yeah.
Where in today's society, we're gonna put bubble wrap on you. We're gonna make the tires fatter. We're gonna make sure we're gonna have driving cars so you don't get into an accident. So the learning process, I think, is what the world is missing out on, especially the United States a lot now.
Yeah.
Is
I
you
agree.
need to be able to fall down. You should get a scab on your knee and see that your body heals itself.
Yeah.
You should. That's what we are. My kids will say, "Dad, I need help with my homework." All right. What do you need help with? Well, this question. Oh, okay, go. They look at me, and I go, "What are you waiting for?" Well, your help. You haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
You what you're asking me is to do your homework for you.
Right.
Yeah.
not
You
going
have not even attempted yet.
Right? So I think Gen Xers are fall down. We'll be here to help you get back up and teach you a lesson from it.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's
Right.
the way I raised my
Where-
kids. Yeah.
Where 20-year-old kids are, let me take care of everything.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I'll agree with that one 100% because that's the way my wife and I were with our kids. Is what we called it was natural consequences.
Well, yeah, like
Right?
when your dad puts the 80-pound colored TV on a tin TV tray, with the cord dangling there, and you reach up to change the channel because, hey, there was not a remote, and the thing comes crashing down on you because you pulled too hard. You won't do that again.
Well, that's your dad's fault for doing something dumb like that, though. But I mean, for like us, as our kids, as far as
I was using that as an
oh
extreme
no, it
example.
actually happened to you. I know
that actually did not happen to me. However, I will tell you what did happen to me is that I did decide to use a butter knife once upon a time to unscrew the faceplate on an electrical outlet just to see what was behind it. And I couldn't find a screwdriver. I don't know. I was 7 or 8, something like that. And I thought, oh, this will fit in here. Let's see what's back there.
So you were ingenious. You were.
I was curious.
You were curious, but you were able to take something that wasn't used for that and figure out to make it work.
Yeah,
right?
it did, but it also sent there was a wire that sent the knife flying out my hand, and luckily it missed my head, but it went. Pew.
That's when you became a ginger.
So
that's what I was just going to say. The same thing. It shocked him into being a ginger.
Shayna says, "I'd rather people not talk to me if they need to condescend or strong arm. Do you somewhere else? Got it. Okay." Right. All right. And then Lisa, I just put notice into my school job yesterday saying I cannot with integrity continue to be a part of the destruction through politics and policies that are teaching children falling, or is that failing?
Probably.
Failing. Struggle is not necessary. Oh, falling. Yeah. Falling and a struggle is not necessary. Just let us save you.
Good for you, Lisa. Wow.
Lisa,
what a good statement.
That's scary.
I think she's nailed it. And I was going to, it pains me to say that I agreed with Kent earlier. That always pains me when I agree with Kent. But that point you made is.
Sorry, Don, I muted you real quick. Can you start over?
Oh, the part where I agreed with Kent? You need
to was yesterday morning. Nicole Elizabeth says, I left teaching 7 years ago for that reason. Referring, I believe, to Lisa.
And that really sucks because you got somebody, because Nicole, the amount of time that I've actually talked to her seems like a really good, great person.
Yeah.
And so our
she's
kids,
really cool.
Our kids suffer, right? Our kids suffer because she left. Because she just probably, and I don't know, Nicole, but I'm just assuming that you felt like you were getting nowhere and that what you were doing wasn't having any meaning anymore because they were just going to push their basic agenda, right, on the kids and not let them be individuals and learn for themselves and fall down.
Not. I mean, I see in many different ways, even in my two youngest, not my oldest, but my two youngest have come out of college, very different people ideology wise than when they went in. And it does frustrate me, but I let them, it's their choice and they're experiencing things. Now I will say my daughter still is very brilliant in that she continues to question everything.
That's Silas, my trademark statement, by the way. Everyone remember that.
What's that?
Question everything. When this pandemic first started happening, and I don't want to go to the pandemic, when it first started happening, I literally, for the first 4 months, had that written on my vehicle, question everything, because I wanted people to think about what's happening, not just agree and do it because they said to do it.
Brilliant marketing strategy. Nobody was out on the roads.
Yeah.
No, there was still a decent amount of people. I drove through neighborhoods beeping my horn.
And it didn't work.
I want to get to
It didn't work, Scott. And it didn't work.
No, it did.
Silas says, what is driving, or Silas asks, what is driving cancel culture? Is it based simply on disagreement? Or is it based on the evolving social norms and the evolving cultural perception? I meant to do that. Evolving cultural perception of what constitutes preservation of courtesy, dignity, and respect. Oh, Silas, no.
I was going to say no, not at all.
Courtesy, dignity, and respect.
In fact, it has gone downhill. It has actually gone downhill. That preservation has gone downhill.
The opposite of what it is.
Courtesy, dignity, and respect comes from engaging with people in a civil manner
and not canceling them because you disagree with them.
Who are different than you, who are of different belief, different opinion, different background. That's where we learn courtesy, dignity, and respect. None of those things are just freely given. Those are, to me, those are three things that must be earned.
Yep, earned 100%.
So it's funny because the the thought of that, and I've mentioned that a million times, that courtesy and dignity and respect and just basic manners, the please, the thank you, the yes ma'am, no ma'am, those kinds of things, because everybody is always behind a screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to be an asshole. So everybody's an asshole. And then when they come in, nobody knows how to interact. So when people interact in my store and I'm looking at them and they don't know how to be around people, and they have no deductive reasoning skills because of the fact that they spend their life behind a computer screen. It's maddening, absolutely maddening.
Shayna, I agree, Mary. Actually, Shayna says
disheartening. Actually,
it seems like in today's environment, it's a call to arms for anything that makes us uncomfortable, not necessarily right, but offended based on how we alone perceive the world. That's a big. A cancel culture is a call to arms. Mr. Kent, you're raising your hand behind the producer's desk there.
We're today's society and today's younger generations. I'm more concerned about what you think, right? Gen Xers, I don't give a shit. If you have a problem with what I said, tell me, let's talk it out, or you're going to have to deal with that problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Very much.
Right. Now, I've got a daughter who's graduating high school. She's got a 2,000-word essay, and her teacher said, you can't use proper pronouns because it may offend somebody.
What?
So you can't use them, their.
He's
Are you kidding me?
No.
There is the root of the entire problem.
So because
look at Pete's about ready to freaking blow up.
Because Gen Xers are like, fuck you. You don't like me? Fuck you.
Well, yeah, but here's my opinion.
Right.
But here's my opinion. If you don't agree with me, tell me why you don't agree with me.
Let's have that conversation.
Right, just because I say them or their or we even.
Them, they, we.
And if we can't come to agreement,
those.
I don't have to listen to you.
Right.
Nor do I have to hang out with you.
Right.
Unless you want to go ahead and continue to sponsor 21.6 The Net right here.
remember when we lived in a country, if you wanted to say he, if you wanted to say he, it was okay. If you wanted to say they, it was okay because it was free country, and we just accepted that from one another. And now, what I find so ironic about this, and one of the things, we're all sitting here acting shocked. Guys, this is happening all over the country every single day. It is
all over the world.
Yeah. And it's going to
steamroll. Well, not here, not around the world, not across this side of the pond.
I said across the
no, but it is. Apparently, there's a little sense left in Singapore.
And I think one of these I think that's part of what this thing is we have to figure out how to stop these kinds of crazy things. But what's the overriding point is, I am just this whole I'm offended culture these days, which leads to cancel culture. The irony of, and we talked about being judgmental 2 weeks ago, I think, and I just find it's almost laughable that every time someone is so offended they want to cancel, that means they're being incredibly judgmental of the other person.
But it's also, I think part of it is it's calling them out, right, to make them kind of almost think. That they actually have to think and open up to someone else's thought process. I don't even want to think about that. Screw you.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with that. Screw you. You know what? I'm right. You're wrong. Goodbye.
Yeah, I just heard a quote, and I like it. It's just short and sweet. Don't let being right talk you out of being kind. That's pretty good advice, because sometimes, we as humans, I know I can do it. When you're right, you kind of you might hammer it a little harder, but
screw it in. You're right.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that. Don't let being right keep you from being kind.
Never has.
No. Be kind, grateful, and thankful. That's my own little mantra.
Right. Or
I say to myself every day.
Some people would rather be right than what was it? I'll come back to that statement, but I got a good one for you that actually came out of that podcast with Simon.
Well, Scott, I think sometimes, I'd rather be effective. We'd rather be right than effective in communicating. So if I want to convince you, do I want to be right or do I want to convince you and be effective? And sometimes,
or some people, I know it was. Do you want to be right or do you want to win?
No,
right.
Yeah, there you go.
Right,
do you want to be right or do you want to win?
Right,
yeah, because I have no problem letting someone else, if I know a fact of a matter. Mm-hmm. And I am 100% confident in that. I have no problem letting someone else just go off on whatever tangent or whatever belief they. I don't need to win that.
Right.
I
Do
know
you need
for
to,
myself.
Do you need to win, or do you need to be right? See, for
No,
me,
I don't need. If I know internally that I am right, whatever the rightness might be in,
Mhm.
and I know factually that other person is incorrect, I don't need that win. I just whatever you go
You've already
believe.
won. You've
I
already
mean,
won.
yeah. I mean, I don't need it.
Yeah, I think Pete's right. You know, I'm at the age where, like, you know, if you tell me 1+1 = 5, yeah, okay, well, that's what you said, and I know I'm right, but hey, you
Yeah.
do you. If you're happy with 1+1 = 5, go ahead. You're going to discover a whole other set of problems when you try to apply that formula down the road.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I don't care. And the Gen X will say, I don't really care. I got other better things to do.
Exactly. You're exactly right. I've got better things to do than fight this fight
Yeah.
because
you got to choose your battles for sure.
Choose your
Well,
battles.
the issue too, another issue in America is I no longer can listen to your opinion. Your opinion is wrong because it's not my opinion.
I think that's intolerance. Basically, it is just a culture of intolerance that I think in order to answer Silas's question, I think it's just basically a culture of intolerance that increases your cancer culture. Very straight and simple.
I agree, and Kent, you're exactly right, and Gary, you're right. And here's the thing: I think Gen X also has, because we have a remarkable amount of no fucks to give. They're all gone. They're just the fuck bucket is empty. We actually,
Unless you're married.
we actually
Check out Fantasy.
are phenomenal.
Check out Fantasy Factory if it's empty.
We'll fill that bucket right up.
Hearing you say that literally makes me gut laugh.
Well, here's the thing. It gives us a remarkable amount of tolerance.
Yeah.
We do not mind. It is extremely difficult to care if you want to do you. We may care about you as a person. We may appreciate you as a person, but go do you. If that means that you want to go poke a rhinoceros in the ass with your pinky finger, knock yourself out. You might not like the results, but go do you, Jack. It's okay.
Because that consequence is
Now, if
directly
it's someone I
on you.
love, if it's somebody I love, I may strongly try to deter them from that act.
But if they do that, the consequence, that's a self-inflicted consequence. And right,
Yes,
so it doesn't affect anybody else. So go stick your finger in a rhinoceros' ass. I don't care. You know, natural consequences, I think, is a really important thing these days. I mean, that's how we raised our kids. You know, it's a natural consequence. You don't do your homework type of thing. I don't get in trouble. You do. So your grades fail. Now, when your grades are bad, then I'm going to be mad at you. But initial consequence is you're getting it from school. You're going to get in trouble at school.
And that's interesting, isn't it? We've taken away competition for a lot of these kids. Everybody gets, but we still grade them.
The participation trophy.
Isn't that interesting?
Right?
Yeah,
Anyway, that might be a different show.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Thanks,
next
Lisa.
week.
Nicole Elizabeth says, I can't even.
Right.
I
think she's talking about the bucket.
Oh, the bucket. Oh.
The fuck bucket.
The fuck bucket, which is empty. Okay. And Lisa, you have a blessed day as well. And we
Now
will
every
see
time
you
I see
Sunday.
hashtag FB, I'm not going to think about Facebook.
And Shayna says, Pete, that was oddly specific. Say that again. What did you just say?
Now every time I see hashtag FB, I'm not going to think of Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag fuck bucket.
21-6 the Nets.
I guess that goes up on the wall with the other quotes. But
And just so we make sure, we can't
maybe it'll
fill
go
up
on a shirt.
Yeah, we can't fill up your fuck bucket at Fantasy Factory,
Sounds
but
like
we
a great
can
new
give you
show.
the tools to do it. We can give you the tools to do
Sounds
it.
like a Friday night show.
Hey, new show, the fuck bucket.
Well, here's what Shayna says, Pete, that was oddly specific. Here's what's interesting is when you use very specific imagery, it makes conversation much more entertaining. Such as if I were to say, you know what, I went and visited my friend who is still alive. Why add that extraneous detail?
That's like adding their skin color.
Yeah, or
Right.
I went to my enemy's house, which is not burned down.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Okay.
Yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's put the yet in there soon.
It's that
I
odd
mean,
pause.
You know, there are. I think it's fun. Nicole Elizabeth says, "Babies for what?
Babies for everyone.
In the bucket.
Can you elaborate on that one, Nicole?
Babies for everyone. I don't want another baby.
That's the fuck bucket? I don't know what she alluding to on that one. Can you elaborate on that, Nicole?
I
Or
would.
not.
Well, no, I want to know.
Scott
I
wants
went
to know.
to the vet after our daughter was born. I'm done with the babies until I get grandchildren.
You went to the vet?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been neutered.
Yeah. I had my situation adjusted.
He watched Bob Barker quite a bit. And Mary,
Come on down.
please have your pet spayed or neutered.
Yeah, you're on the
Help
next
control the
contestant.
pet population.
Oh, Scott said fill the bucket.
Fill the
Oh,
bucket.
well, baby. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Extrapolation.
Oh,
like the-
you mean the COVID babies?
It's like the piss bucket on the history of the world. The piss
Oh.
bucket.
That was good. I had that actually in my grandparents' house when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't.
The
They didn't.
bedpan?
No, that wasn't. It was just like it's just a bucket outside the bedrooms upstairs.
Okay.
You know, if you had to go because she, for whatever reason, didn't want you going downstairs. Maybe she was afraid we were going to fall down the stairs.
Oh,
or
like the piss pot.
the piss pot. Yeah. So you
Okay.
get up in the middle of the night, and you piss in the bucket, and go back to your bedroom.
I never woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom as a little kid.
You did?
You didn't
I got
drink.
good
You didn't
bladder.
drink enough liquid.
Got good
Oh,
bladder.
I was good. My brain went elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I didn't pee. I didn't
You-
pee the bed. I
you-
just,
you-
Yeah, I was going to
didn't
say
make
you
your
probably
own-
peed in the bed.
Make your own sponge. You just.
yeah, yeah.
So,
They
all right.
did get out of diapers when he was 23, so that's all right.
We had a
Listen.
party. It was great.
Listen, there is nothing more natural than just pooing yourself. You do it as a baby. So why not do it as an adult?
He didn't raise his hand for that one. That thought does not count. Ken.
That's right.
I'm offended that you poo yourself.
You would be if you sat next to me.
Right.
That's,
Well, it looks
that's
like
not Old Spice you're smelling.
Looks like we're getting close to the end of the
It's
hour
a
here.
newer
I think
spice. It was
4
recent.
minutes. We got 4 minutes.
Oh,
guys.
4 minutes.
4
Okay, I can't count on that clock, but I just
So are we going to do it? Are we going to save the world, guys, or save the USA anyway? We don't need saving the world, obviously. Gary, let us know. They've
I'll
got
handle this side. I'll handle this side of the pond. You guys go do your side.
You take half, we'll take half, Gary.
okay. Yeah, he's got that side. We'll take this. Are we going to do it? We're going to save the world. Save the USA
United States.
from this.
Oh,
Are we
I'd
going to
say
do it or not?
all we
We
can
could-
do is
we
our
could
little
be a
part. If
catalyst.
everybody did their part, it might help. Yeah.
we could definitely be a catalyst for it. I mean, really, I just spreading the word, so to speak, to people. I mean, have your opinion. Be informative, but don't stop talking to people because they're different than you. Because if we stop talking to people because they're different, have different opinions, and you're canceling them out of your life, you're missing out on, I think, on
Okay, then-
so much and being able to,
To be that catalyst, then here on the grounds, anybody and everybody is welcome to share their opinion, and we will not cancel you for it.
hell no, we welcome it.
We
That's
welcome
what this
it.
whole show is about. I want to hear if you think I'm nuts.
Even if we disagree, or if you disagree with us, we don't care. You share what you believe. You share what you want to share. We will not cancel.
Right, and
you.
maybe what you share with us will make us, and that's the thing. Maybe what you share with us will actually make us look at something completely different and maybe change our mind. I'm open to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I ask a lot of what I think some people feel are dumb
you guys
questions.
made me think.
Right, but
You
I
know?
ask a lot of questions that a lot of people think are dumb, and I'm like, but if it's not dumb if I don't know or if I'm curious about it. I want to know why.
Right.
I'm a big question person. I get in trouble a lot because I ask so many questions. That's why I came up with the slogan, question everything. I mean,
I know that.
if you don't know, why not ask? What's the worst that can happen? They say you're a dummy. Okay, I feel I'm not a dummy.
Well, perhaps on that subject, you are just unknowledgeable. That's why you're asking.
Right. Well, that's exactly it. I don't know.
No
So
such
this is
thing
why.
As a stupid question, only stupid answers.
Well,
Oh,
you know
I
what?
can
And that's-
challenge that.
I love the fact that you say that because
Well,
when I do home inspections at the end of my inspection, I always tell people there's no such thing as a dumb question other than the one you don't ask.
okay, we've got 1 minute left here. Silas Signature. Silas, good morning, Silas, by the
Yeah,
way. Wish you had
Silas,
jumped
go
in
Arizona.
on here with us. I like Scott's comment about question everything. We should all learn to do that more. More conversations like the grounds makes the world a better place and each of us better people. Have a great weekend. And on
Nice
that
quote.
note, we
Nice
couldn't have ended
quote.
better ourselves.
Yes, thank you,
Absolutely.
Silas,
Silas.
for coming up with that. Everybody, you know what? Everybody that listens to our show, put question everything on your car. Let's drive around and see how many people.
Don't forget to fill up the FB on the way out.
That's right. A huge shout
Cancel
out.
culture.
Huge
Let's
shout
kill it.
out to our good friends over at Cannabis CBD Shop for, well, tagging their name to this one. 815-687-2608, www.cannabiscbdshop.com. They'll take care of all your needs to hemp products, you name it. Get you off those
Pharmaceutical.
big
crap.
pharma.
Yeah,
That's
big
it.
pharma. Follow the money.
All right, folks. That's going to do it this week for the grounds. Want to thank our good friend Gary over in Singapore, Don over in McHenry, and Mary in Cary. Mary and Carrie. Of course, everybody else who
Silas is in Arizona.
Silas,
is in
Shayna,
Arizona.
our good friend
Nicole
Elizabeth, everybody. Lisa, appreciate y'all being part of the grounds. That's what makes the grounds so good.
It is.
Come back about a half hour for Bridging Civil Tension because there's a lot of tension from a lot of things that happened this week. We'll see you, folks.
Be good, people.
Have a good weekend.
Peace out.